The Vortan slave ship Crimson Fang drifted through the outer rim of the Terran system, its cargo hold filled with the spoils of a dozen raided colonies. Among the huddled masses of frightened captives, a small human girl sat silently in the corner, her knees drawn to her chest. Her name was Jessica, and she was 8 years old, or so she appeared. The Vortans were a reptilian species known throughout the galaxy for their cruelty. They enslaved the weak, sold them to the highest bidder, and thought nothing of the lives they destroyed. When they had descended upon the mining colony of New Perth, they had expected easy prey. The colonists had scattered, and the Vortans had collected them like insects. "Pathetic creatures," hissed Commander Zrath, his forked tongue flickering as he surveyed the prisoners. "These humans break so easily. This batch will fetch a good price on Kepler Station." Jessica didn't look up. Her auburn hair fell across her face, hiding her eyes. The other prisoners gave her a wide berth. There was something about the child that unsettled them, though they couldn't say what. In the cell across from her, a teenage boy named Jack watched her with concern. He had tried to speak to her when they were first captured, but she had only stared at him with those strange, too calm eyes. Jack had lost his family in the raid. He had nothing left but the clothes on his back and the fierce determination to survive. The ship lurched as it entered hyperspace. The Vortans had set course for the slave markets of the Andros cluster, a journey that would take 3 standard days. In that time, Commander Zrath liked to break in his merchandise, ensuring they understood their place in the new order. On the second day, Zrath entered the holding cells with 2 of his largest guards. His cold eyes scanned the prisoners before settling on Jessica. "You?" He pointed a clawed finger at her. "Come." Jessica stood slowly, her movements eerily precise. The other prisoners held their breath. Jack pressed himself against the bars of his cell, his heart pounding. "Leave her alone," he shouted. "She's just a kid." Zrath's head whipped toward Jack, and a cruel smile spread across his scaly face. "Brave words from fresh meat. Perhaps you'd like to take her place." "I would," Jack said, surprising himself with his own courage. Zrath laughed, a sound like stones grinding together. "Oh, you'll get your turn, boy. But first I want to teach this little one some manners. Maybe then you'll all understand what awaits you." He reached for Jessica with his massive claw. What happened next occurred so fast that most prisoners couldn't follow it. Jessica's hand shot out and caught Zrath's wrist. There was a sound like snapping metal, and the commander screamed. His wrist bent at an impossible angle, the bones shattered like glass. Before the guards could react, Jessica moved. Her eyes flickered, not with fear or anger, but with cold calculation. Red targeting reticles appeared in her irises for a fraction of a second. Her small frame blurred with inhuman speed. She twisted Zrath's broken arm and used his own momentum to flip the massive reptilian over her shoulder. He crashed into the floor with bone-crushing force. The first guard lunged at her with an electrostaff. Jessica caught it mid-swing, and the weapon exploded in a shower of sparks as circuits in her arm overloaded it. The second guard fired his plasma rifle. The bolt should have vaporized the small girl. Instead, Jessica's hand came up, and a shimmering energy shield materialized from her palm, deflecting the shot into the ceiling. Alarms began to wail throughout the ship. "Impossible," the guard whispered. Jessica's head tilted slightly, and when she spoke, her voice carried a mechanical undertone that hadn't been there before. "Tactical assessment complete. Threat level minimal. Initiating liberation protocol." She moved like liquid death. Her small fist struck with the force of industrial pistons. Bones cracked. Metal armor crumpled. In less than 30 seconds, all 3 Vortans lay unconscious on the floor. The holding cells fell silent except for the blaring alarms. Jessica walked calmly to the control panel and placed her hand on it. Her fingers seemed to merge with the interface. Codes scrolling across her eyes at impossible speeds. The cell doors hissed open. Jack stumbled out, his legs weak with shock. What are you?" Jessica turned to face him, and for a moment her eyes were human again, sad and ancient beyond her years. "My designation is J35C4, 5th-generation combat cyborg, but my parents called me Jessica." "Parents?" Jack whispered. "The people of New Perth adopted me when my ship crashed 3 years ago. They loved me despite what I am. They taught me to be human." Her voice cracked slightly. "The Vortans killed them." Understanding dawned on Jack's face. "You've been hiding what you are." "I wanted to be normal," Jessica said. I wanted to be their daughter. But when they took you all, when I saw what these monsters do—" Her fists clenched. I couldn't let them take anyone else. More Vortans were coming. The sound of running feet echoed through the corridors. Jessica's expression hardened. "Stay behind me. All of you." She walked toward the corridor, her small form somehow terrifying in its determination. As the Vortans rounded the corner, weapons raised, Jessica didn't slow down. Her body transformed. Armor plating deployed from beneath her synthetic skin. Weapon systems emerged from her arms. Not crude guns, but sophisticated human technology that made Vortan weapons look like children's toys. Energy crackled around her frame. The last thing Commander Zrath saw before his ship went dark was a small human girl, walking through his crew like a force of nature, liberating the captives he had thought were helpless. Humanity, the galaxy would learn, didn't build weapons. They built daughters who could choose to become weapons when their families needed them. And that made all the difference.